Today, I tell you about water. Hey, welcome back to Holistically Healthy TV. This is episode 2, and I am your host, Jim Burdumy. And so today we have quite an interesting lineup of water, and I am going to give you some tips and tricks on how to improve your water intake, how much you should be drinking, how to actually increase the mineral content in your water, and what are some things to look for. So first we're going to start with tap water. So your general run-of-the-mill tap water, you'll get it at restaurants. Some people, you just drink it out of your tap at home if you're not using any kind of filtration system. Is it safe to drink? My opinion, no. I don't think anybody should be drinking tap water, especially if you live in a big city like I do, or right outside of a big city like I do. There's things like heavy metals, fluoride, antibiotics. It's just not good. I just would not drink tap water. And tap water maybe 30 years ago wasn't the tap water was now. So there's tons of people out there that say, well, we used to drink tap water 30 years ago and it's fine. Yeah, but it's 30 years ago. Same thing with the food supply. Oh, well, we used to do that 30 years ago and that's fine. No, it's different. It's changing. Everything's changing. So different drugs are being dumped into water. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and tell you every single thing that's in tap water because there's that kind of information on the internet, but in my opinion, do not drink tap water. There's a lot of stuff in there that you don't want in your body, and it's very easy to not drink tap water. Okay, so just investing in a Brita system, which is probably like 20, 30 bucks, that avoids you drinking tap water. So I feel like that's a better option. So tap water, no good. And if you're going out to a restaurant, bring your own, which I do all the time. I always bring my own water, and this is actually one of the ones I like to use, so maybe I'll just skip ahead to this. So I like to carry water in glass, and I feel like it's the best option. So when I go out anywhere, I usually bring this guy. It's short, this is a 32 ounce, 1 liter bottle of Evian, and so you can see how compact it is. This is another small one too, but this actually holds more than this. I think this is only like a 16 ounce bottle. This is 18 ounce bottle. It's a little fatter. I actually don't even know how that works, but it says 18 ounces on it. And so I love this. I love this little thing. The only problem is glass. So it's a good thing and a bad thing, just because if you drop it, it can break. So you can buy something like this that has a silicone sleeve on it already, and this is another really good option. One thing I don't like about this one is the really wide mouth, and it just always hits my nose whenever I try to drink it. So I really like these kinds of bottles because it's nice and small here, and you can just drink it like that. So I like that personally. I still do use this because that's also short and fat, and I can get a good amount of water in for the day. Not for the day, but I can bring it wherever I'm going, and I can get a good amount of water in. But this is the one I really, really like. So I might as well just stick with this. So I recommend drinking water out of glass. So it's kind of the opposite of bottled water, right? But I'm going to tell you some of the things about bottled water. But I recommend drinking it out of glass. You can get plastic. I know I just said the thing about plastic water bottles. These plastic water bottles aren't BPA free. These plastic water bottles are BPA free. So if you're going to get a plastic water bottle, make sure it's BPA free. I still don't even really like the plastic because the government has actually said that any plastics are deemed safe until proven otherwise. And so what that means is that BPA is bisphenol A, and that's a chemical that was found in these water bottles like Nalgene, those old, really thick bottles. I think they still have them. But when I was in college, when I was in college, everybody used to have them strapped to their backpacks. It was real thick Nalgene water bottles, and a lot of them had BPA in it, and then they came out with the BPA-free version. So, the research was done around BPA, and it found that it was very, very bad for the body, and a lot of plastics are very estrogenic, meaning that they can really fluctuate your hormone levels and affect your estrogen levels, And so for guys, that's not really good. Actually, even for women, that's not really even good either. So you have anything that's messing with your hormonal system, that's not good. So if the plastic is not done, has no research on the plastic, then they're going to say, okay, well, it's okay to have in there until someone actually goes and does the research on all the different types of plastic that are in the water bottle. And a lot of times there's not just one, there's many. So until the research is done, it's not really the safest. So I would say glass is easy enough to get a hold of, or you can get like one of those clean canteens or any kind of stainless steel water bottles. I used to have a SIG years ago, and they're not bad either because you just drop them. It's stainless steel. It might dent it a little bit, but it's not gonna shatter the bottle. So that's really good too. So, but these are a couple options for you. These three right here are a couple options for you when carrying your own water and bringing your own water. And that's actually something like I said, I recommend because I do it myself. I feel like I know what kind of quality water I'm getting, and I can control it, and I don't have to worry about drinking water. You go to a restaurant sometimes and you drink the water, it's like, oh, what is this? And most of the time they're just giving you tap water, right? And so if you wanted to spend the extra for bottled, you could, because it's better than tap water, but then again, you have the thing with the plastic. So I'm not saying I never drink bottled water, because sometimes if I'm traveling, obviously I have to get bottled water, but I try to get the best bottled water, which I'm going to get into right now. So 3 options for you here. This is a Contigo bottle. And these are nice because we actually have the smaller version for my son. It's just easy. You just push a button, flips up. I don't know why it's... So flips up, really easy to drink, straw system. You don't have to tilt anything. These are my overall favorite, or stainless steel water bottle. These over here. Okay, so bottled water. So not all water is created equal. Okay. There's mineral content in water is very, very important. Okay, and the reason for that is because when the body drinks the water, it goes through the kidneys. Okay, if there's not enough minerals in the water, it'll just kind of rush right through the kidneys. The kidneys doesn't really have, if you think of it this way, it doesn't really have anything to hold on to. Okay, nothing to process in the water. It's just, we would call that too naked or too soft of water. So there has to be something in the water to make it more beneficial for the body. Otherwise, it's just flushing right through the kidneys, and you can actually dilute some of the minerals and nutrients that you already have in your body, and you don't want to do that. So having a water with a good mineral content is very, very important. And a lot of companies don't put their mineral content on the water. Companies like Poland Springs and Deer Park and things like that, they don't put their mineral content on the water. I'm not sure if it's on the website, but the last time I checked it wasn't. But that was probably about a year ago that I checked, because somebody asked me about it. So this is just a bottle of water from Kirkland, because we go to Costco and buy it in bulk. When we have parties or something like that here, we just throw this kind of water out there. It says with minerals added for taste, and so I don't see it on the back here of what the mineral content is. So you're either looking for, it'll say mineral content, or it'll say TDS, so total dissolved solids. So you have Avion here, and their total dissolved solids, or what they say bicarbonates, is 360. That's really good, because what your research shows that you want to shoot for about 300 or more. It's a little tough to get more. Obviously this has more, but with things in bottled water, at least, it's tough to get more, because Fiji was actually my favorite for a little while. I feel like Fiji has a little bit of a taste to it though now. And I don't know, maybe if you guys feel the same way, let me know, but I feel like Fiji has a little bit of a taste, and I think it might be because of the plastics that they use in their water bottle. But I like the plastic, I like the fact that it's thick, right? So if you have something that's really thin like this, you can almost, and this is actually isn't that thin, but you get something like Deer Park or Poland Springs, you can almost put your finger right through the water bottle, right? Like Nestle's bottle, I saw a couple of days ago, and I was almost able to put my finger right through the water bottle because it's so thick. It's great that we're recycling the plastic and using it over again, but it makes it more susceptible to breaking down. And when the plastics breaks down, because a lot of the times bottled water will sit on pallets or in these hot trucks when they're transported, or sometimes they'll just sit right in the sun. while they're waiting to be shipped, that sunlight is breaking down the plastic. It's heating up the plastic, and it's leaching a lot of the plastics into your water, and then you're drinking that. And then again, we said a lot of them are hormonally based and very estrogenic, so it's throwing your hormonal levels off. So not good for that. So this actually, again, isn't even too bad, but this is even thicker. You can really feel how thick this plastic is. So I feel like that's less susceptible to breaking down if in fact it happens to sit in the sunlight. Not to say that nothing's going to leach, but are your chances better? I think probably a little bit. So if you're going to buy bottled water because it's convenient, then I would buy something like Evian. I would spend a little bit extra money and maybe just buy it in bulk, so you're not buying individual bottles. So you buy a case of it at, I go to Wegmans. I bought these at Wegmans, which is a local grocery store. It's a gigantic local grocery store around here. I know they're up and down the East Coast. I'm sure places like Whole Foods, which is nationwide, sell something like that, or maybe you can just buy it on Amazon. Maybe you can find a really good deal online and just have it shipped to your house. So when you're talking about bottled water, I would look at the total dissolved solids, bicarbonates, or mineral content of the water. Try to get anywhere from, so what I was saying with Fiji has around 220, 224, something like that if I remember right. So that's actually not that bad. And so one of the things you can do to see if your water that you're drinking right now has a good amount of minerals in it, or what the mineral content's like, is how often are you going to the bathroom? How frequently are you running? Are you going every half hour, 45 minutes? If it's very, very frequently, you're probably drinking water that is too naked or too soft, and it's lacking minerals. So one way that you can increase the mineral content, like if you're using a Brita or your filtration system on your refrigerator, which I still think is good, I would add minerals to it, okay? So real quick, before I get here, I'm gonna finish up with this. Buy bottled water that has a good amount of minerals in it. Spend a little extra money, you're worth the investment, and it's just gonna pay off in the long run, and then it tastes better. You really do know the difference. You really can taste the difference between Evian or a cheap water. Adding minerals to your own water. This is really, really important, and it's a really, really easy way. And it's also portable, right? So I have a little container, which I probably should have brought down to show you, but I have a little wooden container from Celtic that my wife gave to me years ago, that I put a little bit of salt in there. So when I travel, I always bring that in our bag. And this way, if I'm out somewhere, or if I do get bottled water, that, you know, if I can't get Evian, or if I get Fiji, or if I can't get Fiji, I mean, I'm not a fanatic. Water, you know, I'm still gonna try to hydrate myself. It's just not gonna be on a consistent basis where I'm gonna choose a lower quality or a cheaper water. But if I need water and it has a low mineral content, then yeah, I'll throw some salt in there, you know. You do what you need to do, especially if you travel a lot. So carrying some Celtic sea salt with you is good, and I like Celtic. It's comes from France, and this is the light gray Celtic sea salt, and it says at the bottom, Vital Mineral Blend. And all you do, that's why I brought this glass down too, so I can show you. So what I do is I just take a little bit in my hand. This is actually too much. So I just take a pinch. Probably won't show up on camera. Okay, so I just take a pinch, and you shouldn't be able to taste it. If you taste it, you put way too much. You should probably feel a little bit, at least I can, you should probably feel a little bit of a consistency change. You can tell that it has a little bit more substance to it. You'll know what I'm talking about, but it won't taste salty. Again, if you put salt in there, just dump it and start over again. So it'll dissolve. You know, it's still floating down there at the bottom, but it'll dissolve, and I would add it to every single glass that you drink. And, you know, we even add it into my son's water bottle when we send him off to school. We put a little pinch in there, and every single day we put a pinch in of salt in his water. So that's a little tip for you to increase the mineral content in your water. And again, you know, if you don't have a little wooden container, that's fine. You could find a little glass jar or vial or something like that. A lot of times, you know, grocery stores or convenience stores will sell just like little empty glass vials you could buy. Just throw some salt in there, and then you can use that while you're on the road. You know, we're not putting sodium chloride into our water because that's a poison and that's not natural, right? This is salt, sea salt. And so you could use other things like Himalaya sea salt. You can use New Zealand sea salt. There's so many different types of sea salts out there. I particularly like Celtic sea salt because from some of the research that I've been taught is that the salt that comes from France and New Zealand have the lowest levels of mercury in them. So I'm not saying Himalayan salt is bad, but you just take it for what it's worth. So if it comes from France or New Zealand, it has a lower mercury content to it, or less susceptible to mercury levels in it. So that's what I would recommend. That's what I use, Celtic sea salt, and it's actually cheaper than Himalaya sea salt, so that might be a benefit to you as well. So I hope this was beneficial for you. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. Let me know what you think, what kind of water you're drinking, and the tip of how much water you should drink throughout the day. So my recommendation to my clients and to everybody is that you need to be drinking around half of your body weight in ounces per day. Now, it's an estimate, okay? If you're still thirsty, should you drink more? Absolutely. If you're still thirsty, maybe your body's playing catch up or something like that. So drink more. If not, you could be eating a lot of fruits and vegetables throughout the day. And things like that have living water in them, right? It's all just natural water that's inside. Oranges and apples, very juicy. So you're going to be getting water that way. Now, if you drink coffee and sodas and teas and things like that, a lot of those things are dehydrating to the body. So maybe those are the people that are finding that they're really, really thirsty because the body's being dehydrated from drinking the other stuff, and now it just needs more water. So I would say shoot for half of your body weight in ounces per day. So if you're a 200-pound man, you would need to shoot for around 100 ounces a day, and you spread that out throughout the day. So you just figure out, well, okay, what time do I need to cut off liquids? If you do, what time do I need to cut off liquids so I'm not waking up and going to the bathroom in the middle of the night? So if you wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning and you go to bed at 7, or you say, okay, I got to cut off liquids at 7, that means you have 12 hours to fit in 100 ounces of water. So 100 divided by 12, and that's how many ounces you need every single hour. Or if you're going to carry around a bottle like this, and it's 24 ounces in a bottle, then you say, okay, well, this is how many bottles I need to drink, and you just break it down, and it's really, really not that difficult. Sometimes it only breaks down to like 5 ounces an hour, which is less than a cup of water an hour, and you can easily do that. I know you can. So, and with increasing your water, you're going to notice so much change in your energy levels, in the way you feel. Increasing your water intake is, again, number 3, one of the key principles, right, and the key aspects of health. But it makes such a dramatic impact because so much of our body is water, and our muscles are made up of water, our cells need water constantly, and so it's such an important resource for the body that we need it so much, and because we don't get enough of it, this will have a huge impact in your health in a positive way. So again, I hope this was beneficial. Let me know what you think. How much water are you drinking? Let me know that down below. How much water do you drink? What else do you like to drink besides water? And if you don't like water, what are you doing to change that? You can easily add something to your water, right? So squeeze some lemon in there, or some lime, or some strawberries, or some cucumber. There's natural things that you can do to change the flavor of your water. So how much water are you drinking? That's my question for you today. And please subscribe below, leave a comment. I will see you next time.